Hello there, this is Rom Wills back at you with yet another video. The ultimate level is being a man. Now, you know what, just with online with the dating coach thing, or if you want to throw PUA, relationship guru, seduction guru, any of that, right? Often people will talk about, use the terms advanced, a certain level, or there's some advanced technique, or there's some great strategy, or something of that, or that's some great game. Now, I have an admission to make. When I use the term game, that's really just to relate to what people are saying. It's just like when I use alpha male or beta male, because I publicly stated I don't really like the terms, but I'll use it to relate to the audience. But ultimately, it's not about game or strategy or techniques or money or status or looks or even charisma. Ultimately, it's about just being a man. And that's what we have to be talking about, because that's what's missing. That's why a lot of dudes get so caught up in trying to play make-believe with a woman, or trying to fake like they something that they're not, or going to be like, oh well, I'm gonna tell her I own this business, or I'm gonna pretend like I don't, I'm so busy I can't return her text or something right away. Those are techniques. That's not being a man about it, right? Because like with the returning text, let me use that as an example. A man, if he feel like returning that text in 2 seconds, he's going to do it, because he's not worried about if this woman, who probably don't do anything for him, is worried about it. He's just doing it out of politeness or something. Now, if he can't return that text because he's doing something, then he ain't going to do it, right? Because really, he's doing it because it's intrinsic to his being. Because even simping, you got some guys thinking they doing some simping and they're like, I'm a real man, or you got guys don't want to do it. It's like, no, those are just techniques, dude. A real man is going to be who he is, right? And understand, a real man and being a man is going to be such a state of being. What you do is going to come natural. So when you say hi to a woman, it ain't a technique to it. You just like and you see her. You're not going to say, okay, I'm going to do this strategy and all of that. Because it's so in your being. You see woman, you get her. That's part of who being a man is. Right? And even when you're doing different things for a woman or on your own behalf, that's just being a man, man. That's all it is. Right? Like every man, look, let me back up. Because y'all know I've talked about something that's a philosophy called the house of the man. And there were 4 pillars to the house of the man. The healer, that's the man who comforts the woman, that restores the woman, makes beautiful love to her. That's the lover type, right? The fun guy, social guy. That's part of being a man, right? That's a natural element to a man, right? Using his masculine energy to restore an object to his original thing. And then you have the warrior, that's the protector. The man is supposed to protect the family. He's supposed to guard his territory, his boundary, right? You have the eagle, that's the logical, rational part of a man. Men are supposed to respond to stuff as females. Men are supposed to think it out. We are built that way for a reason. We're not built to be emotional. Too many emotional men out there. Our very nature, because of what we're supposed to do, we gotta be rational. Because one, if we have fear in us and we have too much emotion, shoot, we can't be a good warrior. And and then there's the next one, the hunter. We can't be a good hunter. Because in indigenous societies, the hunter had to kill his food. So you can't be emotional about it. You can't see that deer and be like, oh, he's such a cute deer. Nah, the hunter part of you is going to be like, hey, that's a big ass deer. Boom, kill it. Because nothing lives unless something dies. That's the hunter. Now, that's on a basic level. Now, check it out. When I was growing up, to be a man meant you were multifaceted. To be considered the man, it was multifaceted, right? You just didn't have one thing and like, oh, I'm a man, or just have a job, right? you had to be able to do several things. You had to be able to fight. You had to have some street smarts. Shoot, you had to be able to hustle. And you need to have a reputation that you were making your woman scream. Now, we didn't have, coming up, we didn't have, all this deep stuff. But we just knew it. It was in the culture. It was in the culture. And really what that came down was just being a man. We didn't talk about techniques or something. Just being a man. Even approaching a woman, just being a man. It's like one of the saddest things is when dudes scared to just say hi to a woman. Like, you got fear of a woman. I want y'all to think about that. You got men out here who got fear of just saying hello to a woman, just interacting with a woman. But then they want this same woman to have their baby. Now, why should you? If you're afraid to talk to that woman, why should she want to have sex with you? Why would a woman want to make the mistake? Let me say that again. Why would a woman want to make the mistake of having your seed and you scared of her? Or why would she want to have your seed if instead of approaching her like a man and telling her what's up, you had to lie to her or play some tricks with her? That's why I said in the video, it's like you can't really lie to them. They see it. And if they see you doing that, they already lost respect for you. They're only dealing with you then because that might be all they have. But as soon as a man steps in the picture, a man who's going to be straight up, a man who's going to stand up, that's what they're going to want. And that's the ultimate thing. And see, if you look at my books and what I'm talking about, I'm trying to transform a person. A lot of people hit me up and they ask for techniques and stuff. Or what should I say? Right? And the only time I give a technique, only technique I'll give is, hey, you need to talk to 3 women a day. And that's not even a technique. That's not even a technique. That's just something to like build your muscles, build your courage. Because you need to be to the point, it's such an intrinsic part of your being. You see a nice woman, you just walk over to her. You don't even think about like lines, techniques, what you're going to do, trying to act like you're more important than you are. You want to be as a man. Because I'm going to tell you what, let me get into that more important than you are, because you still got the dudes on some money and status. You're not a man if you're relying on money and status, and money and status don't make you a man. Now, a man can be rich, and a man can have status, but it don't make you a man. Remember that. And I'll stand by that. All right? It's an outgrowth of being a man, but it don't make you a man. Right? Because a true man, one thing about him is he's going to realize that he's responsible for himself. So he's going to build. A true man knows he has to secure a territory. So he's going to build. So all that other stuff, money and status, that's going to come with him just being a man. Right? And that's where you got to go. It got to be such a part of you. You're not playing. In fact, you got to be to the part where if you're getting women and somebody say to you, how you getting these women? You would be like, just being me. Because I'm going to tell you what. I've seen players, been around players all my life. Right? Like what I tell y'all on these videos and stuff, it ain't just based on Rom. Because Rom is Rom. Women gonna like me because they like my big head or something. Or they like my body build. What I tell you is that's my word today. A combination of several men who I've seen work. I'm gonna tell you what, the men who attract the most women, the men who women go craziest over, they don't do it because they slick talkers. I'm gonna just be real with you. They might be slick talkers, but they ain't because of that. They don't get them because of their looks. They might look good, or they might not. They don't get them because of their money. They might have some money, but that's usually not the case. They definitely don't get them through lying to them. But what it is, they a man. They just a man. They just being who they are. Like in my book, Nice Guys and Players. Now, I don't talk about it much publicly, but I mentioned there was a 5th level of man. I call that the real man. Because if you remember what I talked about, for those who read my book, I talked about Mr. Goodbar. That's the man women consider sexy. They want to indulge him. The masked man, that's the man, with the money, money, status, even some looks, right? You got the gamesman. That's the guy just, throwing the dice and everything. You got the nice guy. None of them are real in my opinion. Not a single one. And what a man has to do is recognize which one of those he really at and then become real. A nice guy ain't real. Guys who call themselves nice guys, they pretending to be nice. They know they want that ass. They just be pretending to be good citizens and they try to get a woman because, well, I'm a good citizen. You know you want to like throw that woman up against the wall. To me, nice is just a game. That's just another game, right? The gamesman, he's up there playing make-believe. He trying to be something he's not. Shoot. He's just running around like a little thirsty kid. How's that being a man? The masked man, and the reason why it's called a masked man, because he's hiding behind his money and status. You know? Because if you're going to be a man, you need to be the type to stand up there with no job, anything like that, and still be seen as a man. Just how you carry yourself, how you carry your word, how you look at people. But truly, somebody like that, they never going to be broke. They'll never be broke. But see, they had hiding behind it. You're hiding behind a mask. True man is going to be authentic. You're going to see who he is. And Mr. Goodbar. Ironically, he's closer than the other men, but you know what? Instead of using his natural charisma, his natural sexual energy to really build for himself, he just going from woman to woman. That's why you get a lot of old players and stuff. They haven't accomplished anything in life, but they got a high body count. Nah. Because really, with Mr. Goodbar, he becomes a man when he controls the most powerful thing he has, which is his dick. You know, when you got a man has sexual discipline, when he got control over his dick, that's when he got real power. Because let's be real, there's nothing more pleasurable than being inside a woman. Or to hold her, or have her looking up at you, she's nice and wet, you know, got her legs wrapped around your back. Is nothing more pleasurable. But if a man can get to the point where he can resist that urge, because a lot of times that pleasure might come with some pain, that's when he really is. And I ain't talking about guys who think they're doing it, but the reality is women ain't throwing it at them. You're not being tempted. You don't know you've had that level of discipline until a woman show up to your door butt naked and you tell her she need to take her ass home. And she's attractive. That's when you know. But if you ain't getting any play, any attention from women, and you like maybe even involuntarily celibate or something, that's not masculinity. That's because there's no discipline. You're just not getting the opportunities. And a man won't know how much really discipline he has over his dick until he has a bunch of women trying to hand it to him. That's when he knows. Right? See, the real man, he's a superior man. He's above the masses. He's like the hawk that's flying above the masses. Right? That's the superior man. Right? That's what it means. If you want to talk the highest level, you're trying to become that superior man. That man who has the whole house of the man. You know, that dude, he can knock that woman out of the box. He's a warrior. He can knock somebody out trying to like deal with his family. He got some smarts. He's thinking logically and rationally, and he can go out and hunt. That's why I say a real man ain't gonna really ever be broke. Right? You want to keep that in mind. That's the ultimate thing. And it's not something you can fake. You can't do it. Don't fake it till you make it. Nah. Every day you need to be building your spirit to that point. Your spirit, your body on all levels till you get to that point. Alright? So, that's all I have for today, y'all. That's all I have. I'll talk to y'all. Peace and many blessings.